So Golden State is 3-0 in quite impressive fashion. Sure, they beat a new-look Lakers team, Kawhi without the Clippers, Clippers without Kawhi, and the Kings, who were the worst defense in the league last year. But when watching this team, the eye test really suggests that this playing level should translate throughout the season against teams of higher caliber and with higher chemistry. I recently watched the Golden State vs. Sacramento game, and it was quite a good watch and really the inspiration for this video. So we're going to break it down and we're going to look at 4 important aspects of this team throughout the game tape: ball movement, shot creation depth, the non-Steph minutes, and then the defensive versatility that this team has. Shout out to NBA League Pass because I was at work throughout this game and I'm going to be at work throughout most of the games. But for League Pass, I can, rewind, rewatch games that happen. This is not an ad, by the way. So we're just going to hop through at timestamps that I've docked. And we're going to start with the ball movement that the Golden State Warriors have showcased throughout the season and in this game specifically. So here, it's going to be quick because they kind of show a replay, but this is just a typical Steph and Draymond pick and roll that the Warriors have lived off of their entire dynasty. Let me try to slow motion it. So this action really creates a 4-on-3 because almost all the time teams are going to double Steph out of this action so he doesn't get an open 3-point look, or an open 3-point look for Stephen Curry standards. But they're going to double out of this pick and roll action, and it's going to create a 4-on-3 with Draymond Green quarterbacking it, attacking the middle of the paint. And he does so, and he has Kevon Looney in the dunker spot. In the past, this has been Damian Jones, JaVale McGee, Zaza Pachulia, and Looney. And Looney is experienced in positioning himself perfectly for the pass from Draymond, and he can finish it quite easily. My bad, I wasn't in full screen, but in this play, it's really going to be the off-ball action that Curry does. He's peeling off multiple screens, and then here he drags these 2 defenders out to him to the perimeter because they really don't want Steph to get a wide open 3, and that leaves Kevon Looney wide open down low. And Draymond 99 times out of 100 will make this pass, but he doesn't this time. This is all just Steph Curry moving off the ball, kind of casually just trotting along, goes to the corner, comes off a screen from Poole, cuts to the rim, draws the switch from De'Aaron, then he's going to go around another screen from Kevon Looney, and Richaun Holmes is trying to take away the open look because Curry has Fox beat here. He's going to have an open 3 if Holmes doesn't take away that passing lane. Draymond knows this. Kevon Looney knows this. So Kevon Looney flashes, but Draymond just throws a horrible pass. Or maybe he...
What is that?
No, that was just bad. That was just a really bad pass. I don't know why he threw it so damn high. He doesn't know why he threw it so damn high. That didn't end in a basket for the Warriors, but it created a wide open look. And that's just off of the gravity that Stephen Curry created. So this is off of a made bucket. Good bucket from Harrison Barnes. But look at Draymond. He takes the ball like a point guard and he pushes it up immediately, knowing Curry's already around the 3-point line. And he can move off of that. He can relocate with the best of them. Draymond forcing the action, it allows him to get to this free throw line spot, the soft spot of the defense, pretty uncontested. And that enables a passing lane for him to make when Stephen Curry cuts off of the screen from Nemanja Bjelica. This passing lane isn't available if Draymond doesn't find that open spot at the free throw line, but since he's there, this passing lane is available, and Davion Mitchell can't really accurately watch man and ball, allowing Steph Curry to cut off this and get an open look for him. And at this point, this is just really good ball movement from the Warriors. Another pick and roll from Curry and Draymond. The pass is a bit awry from Draymond, but look at the off-ball cut from Nemanja Bjelica. Doesn't get the bucket, but he gets the foul. Now, Nemanja is a very smart and savvy forward. He's not the most athletic of them all, but most people kind of just think of him as a stretch big, somebody that's going to be floating around the 3-point line waiting for a catch-and-shoot opportunity. But he gets a off-ball cut on De'Aaron Fox, who's young and one of the most athletic players in the league. And Draymond's kind of waiting for him to do that, and he spots that pass. Now, Fox is athletic enough to get a chase down block / foul, but it gets 2 free throws for the Warriors off of the IQ from Draymond and Nemanja. And right here is just another clean sequence between Draymond and Steph. Off-ball action gives Draymond a wide open cut. It's crazy the amount of chemistry that Draymond and Stephen Curry have. They're both 2 of the smartest players in league history. Right here, we have another situation where 2 people collapse on Curry. Thompson hedges on him because if he doesn't, Curry has a wide open catch and shoot. Davion tries to get the switch back to Curry, but Tristan isn't going to be quick enough to drop back down to Draymond. Actually, that was not the scheme. Somebody from the weak side was supposed to help. Halliburton wasn't quick enough. Harrison Barnes wasn't quick enough, so Draymond gets a wide open layup off of the action between Draymond and Curry. It's not always going to be Draymond creating for Curry, and it's not always going to be vice versa. It's going to be a mix between these 2 players because they have that high of basketball IQs. Moving on to the shot creation depth. Now, the Warriors have kind of lacked this the past couple of years without Klay, but now they got a couple guys that can do stuff off the ball with Wiggins and Poole coming onto the team recently. Now, Poole is a candidate for most improved player because of the opportunity that he's going to have, but also because of the improved confidence that he's shown over the past 2 to 3 seasons. He's not just a shooter, he's somebody that can put it on the deck and finish around the rim. This is a really nice floater because of the hard closeout from Mo Harkless. Continuing with Poole, I said he's not just a shooter, but he can handle the ball and create shots on the perimeter. A nice step back. Who was this on? This was on Tyrese Halliburton, who's a really good defender. Halliburton's a really good defender out of Iowa State. He's lengthy and smart, but Poole gets him on a nice little step back, creating just enough space. Halliburton gets a late contest, but it's not enough. Having Poole as a shot creator is going to take a lot of pressure off of Stephen Curry. When Stephen Curry's on the floor and when Stephen Curry's off the floor, as we'll talk about in a later section. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't have a Stephen Curry clip of just Steph being Steph. Like, this is ridiculous. He just pulls from 4 feet behind the 3-point line to get the 2-for-1. And speaking of Andrew Wiggins, this is another bucket getter. This is some stuff that Klay would do. Klay was not just a 3-point shooter like catch and shoot. He could post up from the high post and hit some fades because he's 6'7", guarded by a lot of shooting guards. And this is exactly what Wiggins does and Stephen Curry identifies. Wiggins finds the open space at that elbow, and Wiggins has a really nice turnaround game, similar to Klay Thompson, and Klay would be featured in that type of action more often than not. And Wiggins kind of is comparable in terms of the mid-range game between Wiggins and Klay, and it's also vital that Wiggins gets these type of opportunities in the offense because Wiggins can fall asleep if he's not featured in an offense, and when he falls asleep on the offensive end, his defensive effort and impact also kind of declines as well. So Steve Kerr has to manage getting Wiggins his shot opportunities as much as possible, and Wiggins has to be a bit hungry as well to get his own shot attempts, especially when Stephen Curry's off the floor. So right here we have a play that's drawn up for Jordan. Oh shit, I missed the slow motion. So we have a play drawn up for Jordan Poole. He's going to get the screen at the wing from Wiggins. Draymond's supposed to drive to the baseline, so this pass is available for Jordan Poole to get to the corner to. It's supposed to create a wide open catch and shoot for Jordan Poole, but it doesn't because Tyrese Halliburton does a really good job of containing it. And if it's taken away, it's also supposed to create a pass to Kevin Looney on the roll. But Richaun Holmes does a really good job of taking that away too with his hedge. But Jordan Poole is patient enough to know that the play didn't create him a shot in the corner, and he's still able to get to the rim and drive on Tyrese Halliburton and finish over Tyrese Halliburton. Here we have another Wiggs possession, another Wiggs bucket. It's not a play drawn up for him, it was just the fast break, and Wiggins had an open opportunity, and he hits a tough little step back contested over Mo Harkless. Now Wiggins is capable of these shots, he just has to be featured more, and he has to be aggressive enough to get those shots for himself. And then for the last play of this vid, or this part of it, it's just a Stephen Curry kill on Davion Mitchell and the finish over Buddy Hield. You can't really do anything about that. Davion Mitchell is a really, really good defender. But even to the best of defenders, going against this elite of a superstar on the offensive end, this type of stuff is going to happen. The Curry slide to a crossover, and then the adjusted finish over Buddy Hield, like that's just too good. But yeah, the shot creation depth that the Warriors have behind Steph and Curry now, especially when Klay comes back in December, I think that is the main thing that pushes this team to the tier of real championship contenders. So now we're going to move on to another important section, the non-Steph and Curry minutes. Now this was a contentious topic for the Warriors last year because they really struggled on the offensive end when Steph and Curry went to the bench. But now that isn't as big of a problem for the Warriors for a lot of reasons. One of them being the play style that Steve Kerr emphasizes, one of passing and motion here. This is just a dive from Otto Porter, recognizing that he has Tyrese Halliburton on him, who's a good perimeter defender, but he's still a bit small in stature and can be bullied by bigger offensive players like Otto Porter. Otto Porter isn't a player that has the most offense in his bag, but he can take advantage of a switch like that. And Nemanja Bjelica does a good job of recognizing that and waiting for Otto Porter to get to this spot right under the rim. And this ends up being an easy 2 after a possession that was pretty much busted. Now, speaking of the play style, this is really evident that we have handoffs, we have a pick and roll, creating a bunch of wide open players that just continue to pass the ball and pass to a better shot. We got to rewind that again because this was beautiful ball movement. So we got a handoff with Damian Lee and Toscano Anderson. That's like the Draymond Steph action, but just applied to the bench. That creates a wide open lane for Toscano to drive through because they have that 4-on-3 now. We got Nemanja, we got Jordan Poole in the corner, and we got Otto Porter on the baseline / dunking spot. And Davion Mitchell is the help defender now because Damian Lee somehow took away 2 kings. That's normally what Stephen Curry does. But now we got Toscano Anderson in the Draymond role. Davion comes up to contest him, and then we got Porter who's going to cut down the baseline. And the most important part of this is the relocation from Jordan Poole. Mo Harkless has his head turned. He's not watching man and ball because all the action that's going on in this area between these 3 players. He's not watching Jordan. He's forgotten that Jordan Poole even exists. And we now have to deal with Porter Jr. driving down the baseline while Holmes isn't entirely there. The relocation from Poole to create this passing lane for Porter Jr. is what finishes off this play. And this is something that Steph has done, Klay has done, that really makes the Warriors deadly. The relocation off of a lot of on-ball action on the opposite side of the court, the relocation from Steph and Klay when they're off the ball really made them deadly on the offensive end. Now Steph plays about, 36 minutes a night. And the rotation that Steve Kerr has is that Steph plays the first quarter of the half. He plays the entire first quarter of the half, and then he rests for the first half of the second quarter of the half, if that makes any sense. So the first quarter he played the entirety of it, then he rested for the first 6 minutes of the second and ended the last 6 minutes of the second. He played the entire third quarter, and then he played the final 6 minutes of the fourth. That's the type of minutes and rotation that Steve Kerr has for Steph Curry. I'll be honest, in the non-Stephen Curry minutes in the first half, the Warriors didn't do a great job. But in those minutes in the fourth quarter, that's really what won the Warriors this game. Now, another reason why the non-Steph Curry minutes are better this year is because of the defense. It's really a defensive-minded second unit that the Warriors have employed with this possession right here. We have Toscano Anderson, who's one of the best on-ball defenders off the bench for the Warriors. We have Otto Porter, who's made it known that he's one of the more versatile forwards in the league on the defensive end. Davion Mitchell gets a step on Toscano Anderson, but Otto Porter's quick to help, knowing that Davion's a rookie, not really going to be looking for that cross-court pass to the corner. He helps and provides the rim protection. And then another big thing is the versatility and switchability throughout the second unit. There's no true center on the court. There is no true center on the court. I think Otto Porter's the tallest guy. He's the tallest guy. He's 6'7". And they play Toscano Anderson at the 5 sometimes. Right now he's guarding Richaun Holmes. And Richaun Holmes he put in an effort today. Not even gonna lie. He was kind of dominant in that high / mid post area. But this second unit is so versatile and so switchy because everybody pretty much can guard everybody. Everybody's around the same height. Everybody's flying around, switching throughout. We have Damian Lee switching on to Rashawn Holmes, Toscano switching out to the perimeter, and those were two really good stops from the Warriors' second unit. And then getting back to the offensive end, I talked about Toscano Anderson kind of filling into that Draymond role. Look, that's a typical Draymond Green fake handoff. Draymond's made a living off of those fake handoffs. He's probably the best in league history at fake handoffs. And we have one here with Jordan Poole. So this is kind of a replica, like a poor man's replica of Draymond and Steph, Poole and Toscano. But yeah, we have oh my god, what did I just do? We have a fake handoff action. He splits the defense. So now we have another 4-on-3 because I think this is De'Aaron. He's trailing the play. Rashawn has to help, and Gary Payton does the best move for the Warriors here in relocating to the corner. And Toscano Anderson is a smart enough playmaker to realize that Gary Payton gets a catch and shoot 3 in the corner. And then here we have just really good ball movement in the second unit. Jordan Poole gets some penetration, Rashawn helps, and then Toscano, another good Draymond-esque pass. Now, Toscano is a better three-point shooter than Draymond. Off the help, Holmes helps off of Toscano, giving him a wide open 3 at the top of the key. Davion rotates. This is a late rotation. Toscano can pull this 3, but he's already looking at Gary Payton. I think he knew that Davion was going to rotate. That's why he's already looking there. And that's why this pass is so quick. And that's why Gary Payton gets a wide open catch and shoot 3 on the left wing and knocks it down. I'm telling you, Toscano Anderson might be like the next coming of Draymond Green. Not as good as him at all. But another undersized power forward that makes the right reads on offense, really good playmaker, and really versatile on the defensive end. As Rashawn Holmes gives him a bucket. Oh, perfect. This possession anyway. We have a dead possession. I don't really know what was going on here. They were trying to get Poole in some handoff, but we have a dead play. I can't see the shot clock because of the user interface. 3 seconds left, and we have Andrew Wiggins taking a pull-up 3 from basically Steph range. But this was a dead play. But the fact that the Warriors have 2 capable shot getters off of this dead busted play that can just create a shot. Now, Wiggins isn't going to hit this all the time, but without Stephen Curry on the court, the Warriors still have people that can just get some offense when there was no efficient offense available, if that makes any sense. And they have that in Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole, 2 very capable shot getters. And then getting to the opposite end of the court, we have the defense. Look at how many yellow shirts were around De'Aaron Fox on this drive. De'Aaron Fox is fast as shit. He thinks he sees a hole. He gets around the original perimeter defender in Wiggins, but look at the help. There's 4 yellow jerseys around De'Aaron. Damian Lee goes up. Oh, what the fuck did I just do? Damian Lee goes up. Gary Payton provides some help on the gather. And the pass ends up getting tipped. Because of the amount of length that the Warriors have on the court, everybody is 6'4" and taller. So everybody can get a hand on the ball if they make a move for it. And this type of defense is really what sparks the transition for the Warriors. And look at the pass from Jordan Poole. The passing game for Jordan Poole, the playmaking is really what's going to take his game to the next level. But all of this was drawn off of the defense from the Warriors because they created a 4-on-5 with De'Aaron Fox hitting the floor. And then last but not least, we got some Jordan Poole to finish off this section. Just a simple pick and roll. Poole beats Tyrese Halliburton again, and then there's another tough finish between Tyrese and Buddy. Now, it's said that defense is what wins championships. That's the old adage. That's the slogan. And the Warriors defense showed a lot of signs last year, but this season I think it's much better than last year's because of simple things like this. Gary Payton the first was known as a great defender, but his son, Gary Payton II, is really following in his shadow. I talked about Rashawn Holmes kind of killing the Warriors in this in-between range with his floaters and hooks. Gary Payton recognizes this. He knows Rashawn is killing them in this section. So he provides a little bit of help at the elbow. Not much, but something to try and just ruin the flow of Rashawn Holmes. And that is not a natural shot that anybody can make. I know Rashawn Holmes makes a living off those unorthodox ones, But Gary Payton, his presence really affected the shot of Rashawn Holmes there. Horrible pass from Curry. Another thing that defense can provide, particularly elite defense can provide, is points off of turnovers. Easy twos. Draymond gets the wraparound steal. This is a live ball turnover that creates a wide open lob for Gary Payton from Steph and Curry. Here at 4:20, we have a live ball turnover. This is the impact that Steph makes on the defensive end. He's not going to be a clamp gun on defense. He's not a stopper, but he can make savvy steals, particularly in the passing lane, sometimes on ball. But Steph is more so a defensive playmaker than a lockdown defender, and defensive playmaking can be very impactful for a defense. And here we have Steph again. The Kings are low in the shot clock. Steph knows this, so he traps him. Harrison Barnes isn't the greatest ball handler in the world, so Stephen Curry gets another steal and another easy two, just off of heads-up plays like that. And then to end the half, the Warriors go to a zone. They went to zone a lot in this game, and they forced a lot of passes like that. Cross-court pass. Oh, God. I got to master this user interface. A lot of cross-court passes that were risky, that ended up with the Kings having to catch the ball off balance and make a decision before falling out of bounds. This is no different, and the Warriors were able to get into the passing lanes. Here we go with Gary Payton again. He probably had like 3 steals this game. Another live ball turnover that creates a Wiggins wide open layup that he smokes. He smoked that layup somehow, but this is the type of easy offense that the Warriors could create just by creating live ball turnovers. And Gary Payton was the poster boy for that. I know the Kings scored 60 points this half, but Davion Mitchell kind of went off. He was knocking down threes over and over again, and that was not in the scouting report because he struggled from 3 early on. But the amount of turnovers that the Warriors created was really a good sign, I'd say, in that half, and it translated into the second half, as we'll see. Now, this play is going to feature Wiggins' on-ball defense that he improved on last year. Harrison Barnes was killing the Warriors early on, but Wiggins kind of stepped up and played a lot of great defense on him. Gets that live ball deflection, and because of that, he had a wide open layup, but Jordan Poole could not find it. We got to feature some Draymond in this section. Good individual defense from Draymond, great help from him, and it ends up going off of De'Aaron. Now right here, this is just a great defensive possession from the Warriors all around. We have some screen and roll action that the Warriors can switch easily between Wiggins and Draymond. Forces Davion to pick up the ball, so the Kings are kind of in scramble mode right now. Thompson gets in the high post, kind of elbow. And Buddy's trying to get open off ball, but Curry is a very smart defender. He's able to deny Buddy to perfection. So now they're low in the clock, and then Tristan Thompson tries to do an offensive play, and it ends up in a turnover. Draymond read that like a book, forces the turnover with the charge. That was way too easy, but that was ridiculous defense from the Warriors all around, switching off-ball defense and individual defense as well. Now this is something I really love to see. Jordan Poole on the defensive end, making it hard for Buddy Hield to get open off-ball. Buddy Hield's not a primary ball handler. He doesn't want to... Oh, shit. He doesn't want to have to catch it and make a lot of moves. He wants to catch and be open and make 1 or 2 dribbles and then shoot the ball. But this denial from Jordan Poole kind of makes it hard for Buddy to get open off the ball. And it forces him to over dribble, and he ends up dribbling it off of Jordan Poole's leg. Another live ball turnover. Doesn't result in points immediately off of it. But Jordan Poole does get paid for his defense, and he's able to get to the rim right here, right? Yeah, right around Harrison Barnes. His defense pays off. Alright, we got more Gary Payton love. Watch Gary Payton on this entire possession. Took Buddy Hield out of it. Then he switches onto Davion, who's now on ball. Guards him on ball. Forces him to pass the ball away. Now he's off the ball. Tyrese gets some dribble penetration. He's able to hedge enough. Just enough. Sorry, we gotta rewind 10 seconds back. Still look at Gary Payton, but look at Tyrese at the same time. We'll slow it down. Gary Payton's in the near corner. Tyrese gets some dribble penetration. Tyrese always has his head up because he's a great playmaker, always looking for the open man. Gary Payton hedges just enough for Tyrese to think this pass is wide open. Tyrese sees it, but then immediately, right when Tyrese gathers, Gary Payton is back to close out on Davion Mitchell. And does he deflect this pass? He does. He deflects it off of Davion Mitchell, and that's another turnover forced by Gary Payton. It's not a live ball one, but it is a possession won by the Warriors nonetheless. Another possession of Gary Payton, the second love. He's off the ball. He's defending Harrison Barnes, who's kind of killing the Warriors early on, so they put Gary Payton on him, who sets a screen on Damian Lee to get Tyrese a semi-open look. Payton recognizes this. Tyrese Halliburton's jump shot isn't the fastest in the world. It kind of takes a while for him to get it up. So Gary Payton's able to get enough of a contest to maybe throw him off, who knows. Tyrese ends up missing the shot, and look at Gary Payton. Immediately running down the baseline. Tyrese is kind of lollygagging. Curry gets the rebound. When Curry gets the rebound, he's immediately looking up for an easy two. Whoever's running Curry, Draymond, they're going to find him. Head up, spot on pass. Gary Payton can catch and finish easily. Another easy two, not from a live turnover, but still off of great defense from Gary Payton II. So right now we are in, okay, wait for the user interface. Right now we're in 9:36 of the fourth quarter, more non-Stephen Curry minutes. This is where the Warriors won this game. It's 94-94, but this is where the Warriors won this game. In the non-Stephen Curry minutes like we talked about earlier, and the defense from this unit as well. So Jordan Poole is going to smoke a layup. That was good defense from Harkless. But the defense on Fox, he's in the open court, right? He's in the open court. That's where De'Aaron is most dangerous. But the Warriors are able to contain him. A little bit of a foul from Otto Porter. But Gary Payton goes up. He went up and got dunked on. This was a dead ball. Because Otto Porter fouled. I went to the wrong timestamp. So here, I think this is where the Warriors go into a bit of a zone, right? They're in a 3-2 zone. They got Damian Lee, Jordan Poole, and Gary Payton up top. And they got their two quote-unquote bigs in Wiggins and Toscano Anderson. Which is negligent because the two Kings bigs are out on the perimeter trying to do some pick and roll action when that's not going to work against the zone at all. Like, Luke Walton, what are you doing? But anyway, they're in this 3-2 zone right here. And the Kings can't really identify the best way to break it down, so the Kings just end up passing it around the perimeter, not really getting into the soft spot of the zone, not taking advantage of Tristan Thompson down low. If you're not going to do that, then it makes no sense to have a big man out there. And they end up getting a Davion Mitchell catch and shoot three, kind of open, but Davion's still not the best three-point shooter, and he bricks it. So this is where we pay attention to Juan Toscano Anderson. Individual defense, he's 6'5", mind you. Tristan Thompson isn't the most talented offensive big. Yes, this is true. But this is just individual defense from Juan Toscano. Stays in front, cuts off Tristan. He does get to the low post. Can't really get all the way close to the rim as much as he'd like to. But he still gets a post hook that he likes. And Thompson, he can't hit it. Toscano Anderson makes it really tough for him. Did he do something before this too? I can't remember. This was just a brick from Buddy. Yeah, this was all just Toscano Anderson. He's 6'5", going against a typical center. But he's able to stop him in the low post. He's able to stop him. Thompson's bumping around. Gets to the post hook, but he bricks it. Like, it doesn't even draw iron. We got some more Draymond love. This is really impressive. I'm not even going to get to the play yet. But the amount of versatility between Wiggins and Draymond makes pick and roll action between them when it's run on them two specifically. This is Draymond and Wiggins both defending the pick and roll because Wiggins is the primary defender on Fox and Draymond is the center on the lineup right now, so he's guarding the screener. Fox is going to burn Wiggins on the screen because that's a good screen from Holmes, and Fox is quick as shit. But Aaron has to go over Draymond now. He has to go over Draymond, who's adept at switching on the guards and making life a living hell for them, especially when they drive over him or try to drive on him. This is a tremendous contest. This isn't a foul. De'Aaron Fox could have made this the next time he had that opportunity, but he doesn't. Because it wasn't an easy layup attempt for him because Draymond was there. So remember when I said the Warriors allowed the Kings to get 60 points in the first half, which is kind of bad, but at 2 minutes left in the fourth, I can't mouse over it because the user interface pops up. They held them to 105 at the point of this Wiggins dagger. So after halftime, after this point, they held them to 40 points the entire second half? That's why I said in the first half I wasn't really worried about them giving up 60 points, because there were really good signs on the defensive end, and they just tightened up on some things that they messed up on, and it was evident in the second half. They held the Kings to 26 points in the third and then 19 points in the fourth. Yeah, the Warriors really clamped up on the defensive end, and that is exactly what won them this game. And this is the Warriors defense without Klay Thompson. Now, if he can come back and be 85%, that's only going to contribute to the versatility, just the defensive IQ, and the amount of defensive talent between Klay, Wiggins, and Draymond on the wings / at the forward positions. I think the Western Conference has to be careful. The Western Conference contenders last year were the Lakers, Suns, and the Jazz, of course, but now there's definitely a new member of that tier, and I think it's the Golden State Warriors, and as a Lakers fan, I'm a bit scared.